it wasn't just the touchdowns. He was pacing that offense in a way that the Chiefs, I think, couldn't keep up with. The other factor that we mentioned in terms of which defense could be taken was the secondary of the Bucs. People talk about the line situation and all that. I thought a large part of this in terms of how they were able to lock them down was the fact that wasn't nobody open. Mahomes is out there scrambling around trying to figure things out. You're not just going to take chances, and he is a guy that takes chances, even though he was hitting dudes in the face mask. They got out-schemed and they got outperformed. Travis Kelce didn't play well. The receivers didn't play well, and they lost that game by not scoring no touchdowns.
All right, Jackie McMullen, how did this happen?
To me, it all started at the line of scrimmage, and I'm talking about both lines of scrimmage. When you look at that defensive front of the Bucs, you could just see how dominant they were. They waddled about, but there's not enough talk to me about the protection that Tom Brady got. We talked about Mahomes having to scrambling 30 yards backwards. He got sacked 3 times. It should have been more. It's a credit to Mahomes. It wasn't. Brady was sacked 1 time in this football game. He got protection all night long, and it showed. He was able to hit who he wanted to hit and win this game because of it.
All right, look at these scores right now. 31 and a -9 over here. What are we talking about? I think we already know who's in showdown, but go ahead, Frank Isola. This game you did not pick correctly. How did it happen?
Well, I'm happy I'm wrong because I wanted the Buccaneers to
Oh,
win.
isn't that convenient for you now? Hedging your bet here.
Both Tom Brady and Todd Bowles had career-defining Super Bowls on Sunday, absolutely. And I think that defense of Tampa Bay, and I'll tell you what, Tom Brady's the star. The quarterbacks are always going to be the big stars. But how about the performance of Devin White? He has been outstanding all playoff long. He's an absolute menace. Reminds me a little bit of the late, great Sam Mills, kind of undersized, but he was dominant. And the fact that Mahomes was scrambling for his life, let's remember, this is an offense that tears everybody apart the last 3 seasons. They had 3 field goals, 0 touchdowns.
And Israel Gutierrez, how did this happen?
Well, down here in Miami, everybody loves when Frank is wrong, too, so we're happy as well. I do think that it was basically a factor of the Chiefs' weakening offensive line and what seemed like a strengthening defensive line for the Tampa Bay Bucs as the postseason went along. But you have to look at the big picture overall as well, right? Because why was Tom Brady able to have so much time? A, it was his protection. B, it was because they were able to run the ball with Leonard Fournette early on and run the play action. He got his touchdowns off of play action passes. And it adds to sort of how impressive it is for Tom Brady in a time where immobile quarterbacks seem to be going extinct. He's just like, no, we can absolutely perfect this game. Protect me, we will win. And he's had so many instances where that has been the case that I would, I'd buy it too, and I would play for him anytime.
Frank Isola, you want back in? Go ahead, please.
My thing about Patrick Mahomes, this guy he made some incredible plays, and the ball hit his receivers in the face mask. But Tony, at the end of that half, 2 huge penalties to me really swung the game. On the one where Tampa Bay took points off the board because it was an offside, so instead of 10-3, it's now 14-3. And at the end of the first half, I thought that one call on Honey Badger was a little harsh, but make no mistake about it, the final minute of that first half changed the entire game to make it 21.
Is anybody with Frank there? The refereeing kind of tipped this game? Clinton Yates, you?
This is more of a situation where those rules are just what we don't like, as much as the actual officiating is what it comes down to. A lot of that ticky-tack stuff is how you're supposed to call it. I'm not a big fan of that being the actual way the game is played personally, but it made sense in that
Jackie
scenario.
Mack, refereeing tipped this game?
No, this game was over. This game was too one-sided to say that the referees had anything to do with it. No, can't go along.
You said it yourself, Frank. They had 0 touchdowns. And then you go and tell me the referee. No, they had 0 touchdowns. They had 0 touchdowns.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.